Hey everybody, what is up? Welcome back to Final Trade. What a wild market we have been in. On Friday, when I did Friday Seal Deals, I said that you might want to consider buying Final Fantasy collector boxes because the bonus bucks sale coming up at Friday this coming week would have a $50 limit per item. And if those boxes moved up by $50 between last Friday and this upcoming Friday, it would nullify the bonus bucks that you could potentially get back. So I laid that out this past Friday on the Friday Seal Deals video. And then what did WotC do? On Saturday, they came in and they released information about the card pools, the special rarities, and all the different types of variants that are going to be in the Final Fantasy set. And what did we see after that happened? Well, actually, it spiked up higher than this 712 that it's at today. It spiked up to about 725 for a while on Saturday and Sunday, and it's down about $12-15 in the last 24 hours. But from the 670 when I made the video on Friday to today, we've seen $42 of increase in the price. And it's amazing the sale through rate. So on Saturday, when WotC spoiled some of the variants and a few of the cards that are in the set, we had 143 boxes sell on TCG Player. And then Sunday, an additional 76. So far this morning, 13 on May 12th, Monday. So the interesting part of this is, well, you still need to evaluate whether you want to buy right now or try to wait for the bonus buck sale, because we've got 3.5 days in between now and the beginning of the bonus buck sale. And again, you could buy at 712 today, or you could gamble that the price of this is not going to move up more than another $50 between now and Friday morning when bonus bucks starts, and you can get your maximum of $50 per item cash back buying these then. And if we look out here and we just make some very basic assumptions about the sell-through rate over the last several days, 47, 46, and then these couple of spikes here on the back of releasing some information about the expansion, and you look at the market depth until we gap up another $50, well, you might decide that there's a decent chance that we will gap up some more, especially if WotC surprises us and starts spoiling cards. That's the big thing, is if they start spoiling cards sometime this week in anticipation of this bonus buck sale, we could see this product go way higher very, very quickly. In fact, when they do start spoiling a lot of cards for the set, we are going to see big upticks. The question is, how many sellers are going to come into the market before that? And do we get to the bonus bucks sale or not? Because I expect we are going to see very, very massive sales on Friday of this product. And you're going to have to hope that there are enough sellers coming into this market trying to undercut each other and push these prices back down. Most of these dealers are already making $300 or $400 profit off of each of these boxes that they sell, and so their appetite to undercut each other will be large in order to secure the sales. But again, the depth until we gap up another $50 just is not that far. So just like I said on Friday when it was $670, you'll have to decide whether or not you're going to buy at this price or risk it going higher. And one other thing that I wanted to talk about in the current market today, man, Silver Tempest. You know, I can't keep up with every product every day, but wow, what this has done in the last month. If we look at the low point for this last month, $263, and today, $365. So up over $100 in less than a month, in about, we'll call that 3 weeks. 3 weeks, it's up $100 or 40%. You know, I just, sometimes when I see stuff like this in the market, I just sit here at my desk and I go back and forth between shaking my head in amazement and just chuckling out loud to myself, because it's such a ridiculous market to have a business in, to be investing in. And just when you can see things like 40% increases in 3 weeks on products you were begging people to buy a couple of months ago, products that you put up on Friday Seal Deals, products that you warned people were about to go out of stock on Pokemon Center, products that were selling for $144 with no sales limits as recently as 4 months ago. And today they're $364. And you just sit here and marvel at how ridiculous the TCG investment market is, at the unbelievable types of moves that it makes. And it's just another example, $365. And just look at this, not only the spike in price, but the spike in volume over these last several days, over the last week. And then if we look out here, let's go see if there's any gaps here in the future once we get past all the foreign language boxes and all the other products that are not booster boxes that people list under the booster boxes. And we get down here finally to the actual booster boxes. We have 365 today. We have, what's this? 9 boxes until we hit 375. 1 box until we hit 398. And then a handful more boxes. And we're over $400 into $399. Okay, so there's an okay backup there at $399. So guys, this might only spike up to $400 on the back of the bonus buck sale this Friday. What's the sale through rate recently been? 4 boxes a day. Wow, 4 boxes a day and not much depth until we go up another 10%. And it just underscores what always amazes me, that you can listen to people who take themselves seriously and say this cannot go on, markets were not meant to be this way, it does not work like this. There's too many boxes in the closets that are ready to come out and crush the market and keep the prices from going up. There are some people who take themselves seriously and repeat that video after video after video, month after month after month, year after year after year. And yet here we are. Here we are with a product that was selling with no quantity limits at $144 merely 4 months ago. And here we are at $365. And yet the boxes coming out of the closet are not nearly enough to keep the market from making a 40% spike upwards in merely the last 3 weeks. So a couple other things to talk about, just aside from how ridiculous TCG investing markets are just in normal times. So first off, sealed sale 17 for my patrons. That's coming this Thursday, the night before the bonus buck sale. I'm trying to put together something that will give you an actual deal compared to what you can get from TCG Player the very next day. I'll have more announcements on that and some posts over on Patreon. If you want to sign up, go sign up for that, and you'll get everything else that my patron program offers. The bonus buck sale coming this Friday for my patrons. I will have the thread up on Patreon coming probably not today, but probably tomorrow, Tuesday. I will start the thread and then be updating it regularly until the morning of the sale. The anticipated Cult of Cash Flow videos that I teased that I'm working on, I actually put aside about 2 hours yesterday and worked on an honest-to-God script for it, because it is a technical subject. It does require a lot of very precise language and explanation about how things work and why the cult of cash flows is so misleading and it's not really useful to you as an investor. So the cult of cash flow videos, hopefully I'll have time today or tomorrow to work on the script some more, and I can get it recorded sometime this week, release it late this week or this weekend. And after the bonus buck sale, my patrons, you will be getting another updated data video on Final Fantasy Collector Box sales data off of TCG Player. For everyone else who is not a patron, you will have to wait until the regular 2-week prior to release first look for everyone else. My patrons, of course, have been seeing the actual sales data on Final Fantasy Collector Boxes for, well, we've done 2 updates so far, and I said I would do a 3rd update the day after the bonus buck sale. So patrons, look forward to that on Saturday, only on Patreon. Guys, it is an unbelievable market, and we're kind of caught in this weird indecisive phase where we've seen small cracks forming in the Pokemon Scarlet and Violet market. We saw a brief bear market for Sword and Shield boxes, and it has been utterly canceled, and now we are back into very, very strong bullish movement on Sword and Shield era boxes. We've seen Magic continue to, on average, dither, though certain products have gone extremely upwards, like these Final Fantasy collector box pre-sales. But we've seen things like, say, Ravnica Remastered collector boxes just kind of sit around for a while. We've seen things like Dominaria Remastered make small movements upwards. We've seen older things like Kaldheim retrace a bit from the 50% increase they had during 2024 and fall down about $15 or $20 back into the 180s. So the Magic collector market, which really is the blue chip section of the Magic investing market, has been on average kind of sideways, with some extreme winners, some minor winners, a lot of ditherers, and a few losers. But it's incredible to see that even now, with the overall kind of sluggishness of the market as a whole, we're still seeing these amazing, amazing upward movements of things like the Final Fantasy boxes, like March of the Machine boxes is another good example. Phyrexia boxes are on another tear. And so some things still refusing to be kept down because, again, as I always try to pound into everyone's head, these are scarce collectibles that people destroy for fun. You have to always keep that in mind. And so when anybody tells you that markets don't work this way, it was never meant to be like this can't go on, these are scarce collectibles that people destroy for fun. This is fundamentally different than so many other markets in the world because people destroy these things for fun. Always keep that in mind, guys. Man, I'm so optimistic for the way things are going. I'm incredibly optimistic for this coming week just to see the bonus buck sale. And my goodness, so many things are going to just go nuts after the sale. It's going to pull so much inventory out of the market and cause the prices on a lot of things to rise. So patrons, look for the thread coming to Patreon, the sale thread probably coming tomorrow, and you'll see what I'm planning to buy, the best things that I'm looking at for that sale, the places where I see the most excitement, where I see the biggest gaps up in the short term. Let me know what you think, guys. Thanks to everyone who makes this content possible, especially my very generous supporters on Patreon. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and join me on Final Trade.